Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Delta T Racing Division 2. So it's Thursday night. We're coming from Jeddah in Saudi Arabia for round number 2. As you saw from the tables just up briefly, J5 Gaming leading the way after a win last week. Unfortunately, he's not here this week. He's away on holiday, but I hope you're having a wonderful time, and we look forward to having you back next week, Johnny. Second in the table was Pipkey. Third Hummer. Hummer taking pole position last week, finishing on the podium in third. Cassell in fourth. Bogowski in fifth. Big Summers defending champion in sixth. And Riker in seventh. Dina in eighth. Moss Isley making his debut, picking up 2 points in ninth. Tonight driving in the Aston Martin as a reserve. And Andre picking up the final point in 10th position. Didn't have a great qualifying either last week, so he'll be looking to bounce back. Yeah, bounce back as with a vengeance this week. Okay, also have another one. Lacatsis isn't here this week. I don't think he's set his attendance, but we. Right, okay, let's get some. Where is my controller now deciding not to work? Oh, I've been having nothing but problems before this, so let's just see if the controller is going to work or not. Right, there we go. Sorry, apologies for that. Right, let's get the maps and telemetry up, and then we can start following people and seeing what is going on. So who is the first out? So the two Ferraris, so we're going to be looking, Ralph is always pretty early to go out in qualifying. Likes to have the free track at the beginning, but obviously you've got the less grip, grips up the further into the race that we get. Right, sorry about that. Just had to adjust the sound. I think it was probably blaring the game out a bit too much. But right, okay. So Ralph is on the first hot lap of the race. There's a big old circuit around here. Can't remember exactly how many turns. Let me have a look at my map here. With 27 turns, and pretty much each of them can take your front wheel off if you time it wrong. Certainly turn number 4, I think that's a big casualty, or a place where casualties are picked up, so we'll be looking there tonight. Also the fast chicanes, sort of like the right left after the long hairpin, that will pick up a few people as well, but hopefully we won't have any issue tonight. Just checking the volumes there, so we are good to go. So okay, looks like Hummers is going to be the first one to set a lap time 129.104. No, last night I think they were down into the 27s, but some are coming in second with 29.516. Who is going to be next across the line? We have Habit Connor going fastest. Sorry, Con, completely missed that, mate, but much better than last week's qualifying. I think Bog is probably next to come across, and Bog jumps up into pole position 28.913, followed by D Rush with 28.893, going 0.2 quicker. So obviously it's changing lap after lap after lap depending on the tyre surfaces. Obviously temperature going in, a bit more grip going down, so the times are going to improve. Look, sorry, I'm also just checking out graphics, etc., because I had terrible trouble just before the race where I stupidly installed a new NVIDIA graphics driver, and it decided to completely mess up the game. So it was pretty juddery. So I had to uninstall it, reinstall it. It's been a nightmare, but never mind. We are here. That is the main thing. Okay, coming across the line is going to be one of the Kicksalvers now, which is going to be composite with a 134.4 in 11th position. Skipper and Brother Adam are on a lap. Brother Adam's just about to finish now. We'll see what time he is going to put in. 29.4, so up into 8th position for him. Skipper will be next. So we'll jump on board a bit with Skipper just as he's a little bit further round the lap. Just coming towards the final sector now, so car getting out of the way there. So it's basically off the brake, off the accelerator, dab of the brake, and then flat out through that left right if you can, and then try not to go too wide, otherwise you're going to clout the wall. But coming into the final turn now, turn number 27. Skipper diving for the line. What time is he going to put in? It's a 1:30.772, so 4 seconds or 3.5 seconds quicker than his teammate. About half a second off the pace of Raikkonen, just ahead of him. Okay, Mos Eisley, as I say, this is only his second race with us, picking up a couple of points last week. He'll be looking to do similar, if not better, this week. So just coming, this is the corner there. If you clip that inside, if you're trying to, obviously you do need to cut it as much as you can to keep your speed up, but if you clip it, that's it, that's your front wheel gone. I do envisage we can get a safety car tonight. I think we're going to be looking at a 2-stop race. Good evening, Johnny. Good evening, Andre, and good evening, Benny. All in the chat, or Andre was, or hopefully he's out actually driving now. But good evening to you all. Benny, good drive last night. And Johnny, get back on the beach. Right. Okay, Mos Eisley with a 29.1 to jump into 6th position. And I think that's it, other than Ralph is now starting his second run. Obviously invalidating his first run, so looking to try and get a time on the board. Cassell has now joined. I know he was going to join during qualifying, so he is there. We expect him to go out shortly. But Ralph, yeah, in the first sector, just picking, get a cut to Mos Eisley now, who's on a slow down lap. We're getting out of the way really well there. Again, good to see. Nobody else is on a lap, other than, no, Skipper, I think, is on in. Well, Skipper done a double run, 1:30.7. Yeah, I think Skipper might have done a double lap. But let's stick with Ralph and see where he can drag his Ferrari. So obviously no time set at the moment, so anything is going to be an improvement. Here he comes into the final corner now. Foot flat to the floor. Try and cut the pit lane in. Oh no, he does go into the pits. So, well, he got a bit of TV time there. So right, who is going to be the first person to go onto a lap? Is it Rush? I think so. So our current pole sitter is going to be the first to set a time on round number 2. Excuse me. Run number 2, should I say, not round number 2. Bog has just started his as well, so he will be the second person to set a time on the second run. Still 8 minutes to go. We've had nearly 10 minutes. Sure, everyone's looking forward to the Formula 1 season starting this weekend. Obviously, with the big rule changes, we don't know what we're going to expect. Obviously, we've all read the reports. We all know that Aston Martin is struggling big time, but I think Honda have brought an update to the engine, but whether that will resolve a lot or all of the issues. It might solve some of them, but I've heard it's going to be sort of less vibration for the battery, etc. But it's not going to be good for the drivers. So we'll have to see just whether they are able to complete the race or not. Anyway, right, NLD Rush looks like he moved out of the way, so Bog is now going to be the first person to try and improve on his time. 28.9, only needs what, 200ths? Not much at all, but didn't catch on his radar. Oh, he has come into the pits as well, so Bog wasn't happy with that lap. Comes into the pits. NLD Rush, not sure if he's going to complete his lap at all. Who do we have behind? Rika with a 29.214. Pipkey 28.5. Should never take my eye off Pipkey. He's a blooming quick driver. I expect a good few races won from him this season, but he was last year's best qualifier, I think, with 4 pole positions. I think the best apart from that was 3. Who the hell is that part there? That's okay, could have gone straight, but well done for getting out of the way. Right, so who are we going to jump on with? Is it a Williams going around the top here? It is Raikkonen. Is he on a lap or not? That's what I'm 100% sure with. Judging by the battery, he is saving. No. So next up, we have one of the Mercedes. Is that Cassell? Yeah, so Cassell has popped in a 29.516. So joining in a little bit late for qualifying, but he's still putting in a decent time there in 11th place. We'll see if he is up on his time or not. He's not, he's 4 seconds down, so obviously he's just done that lap and he's now on an in lap. So they seem to be picking up everybody that's on an in lap at the moment, so we're doing very, very well. What we got now, moving out the way. Mos Eisley is on an out lap. Connor is also on an out lap. It looks like they're doing a double out lap. Hummer 11 seconds down. Pipkey's obviously going to be coming into the pits after just setting that stonker of a lap, 28.5. Hummer also with a 28.6, slipping in there without me noticing. So is he going to go for a second run? I wouldn't have thought so. He didn't use his battery down there. Right, okay. Anybody else? Skipper. Ralph's out again, trying to get a lap on the board without invalidating this time. Otherwise, he's going to be starting at the back of the grid because he's not going to have time to try and set a lap, come in, change a set of tyres and go back out again. So he's just going to have to keep going until he gets one and hope it's going to be quick enough to drag him off the back row of the grid, which would then leave the 2 kick Saubers there. Composite has improved on his time as well, 131. He was at a 134, so I do expect it. I mean, his drivers get used, get in the car, get a little bit of track time, and also the grip improving. Times are going to tumble, but Pipkey so far with that 28.595, sitting at the top of the standings. Come on. He can't. No, he's not on another lap, surely. I will jump back to him just right at the end, though, but I think the one we needed to look for was Ralph, who has now slipped by into 10th position, so I missed him there. We'll keep an eye on Hummer just to see what he is doing. So he is now coming into the pits. Mos Eisley is quarter of a second up on his time, which would get him very, very close to pole position if he can improve just a couple of tenths more. He can put himself on to provisional pole. Is Bog on a lap? 3 tenths down on his time. So I would say not. Nope, and into the pits. But I think that's going to be the end of the run for Bogorovsky today. We're 128 lap. You might just make it, but I doubt it. I think it's going to be an absolute push. But we'll see. So Moss Isley coming round towards the end of sector 2 now. He's not pushing at all, so he is not settling up. Is anyone trying to settle up? Rush? No, he's 24 seconds down. Pombert, he's a 10th down, so it looks like he might be on a lap. Doesn't need to improve too much to leapfrog Bogorovsky. So Bog, I think his day is done now for qualifying. Remember the DRS, flat out through here. You need to pick your braking point and your turning point and be brave. Not too bad there, a bit hesitant, but now we are absolutely flat. DRS enabled again, and on we go, absolutely flat to the floor. Moving across to the right hand side, ready to pick your braking point for the final turn. 27, cut in at a bit wide there, missed the apex, but you cut in again, just pretty much kissing the wall. There we go, Pombert with a 29.5, so doesn't improve, 0.6 slower than his previous lap. Rush is it's quarter of a second, nearly 0.3 up, which will put him in that range of certainly the front row, but whether he can wrestle it away from Pipke, can't. 28.7, so is Pipke on another lap? I'm not honestly sure he really needs to, but Hummer did make it out for another lap. Bogorovsky's on an out lap, so they're going to be cutting it fine. Have to see if they do cross the line before the time runs out. Pipke wanting to improve his time. He's 0.2 down as we stand, but you don't know whether he made a slight mistake in the final couple of sectors and has time to make up there. Okay, so we've got the yep, I was just trying to see who was out, so let's go back to Rush. Hummer has now started his first, or his next. We'll just jump to see whether he's up. He's slightly up on his time, so again we'll keep an eye on him. Doesn't need a huge amount, but what he's up at the moment would put him on to pole position. Okay, so Rush aborting that lap. Will not improve on that, so we'll be looking at third place at best. Who did make it? Bog did make it. Hummer, as we know, has made it. He's a 10th up, so this looks like it could be a second pole position in, well, he was pole position last week, so pole position again this week potentially. Brad Adams been disqualified, so he is going to start at the back of the grid now. Okay, so Hummer will get on the power as much as he can. A little bit squiggly there, lost maybe a 10th, but we'll see if he has enough to jump up in a pole position. And he had a 28.339. He certainly had time in hand in that last sector. Okay, so Summers has invalidated Bog. Is Bog up? See what time Bog's going to come across the line with. It looks like there's a Williams off the track just ahead. Not sure it's a Williams or a, I don't know, say Racing Bull. There we go, Bog flooring it now. Can he beat the 28.3? No, 29.2. So Bog stays in 6th position. Summers, as we know, had aborted that. Skipper, can Skipper throw in a lap of a lifetime and get on the pole position? Not at this speed, I wouldn't have thought. So that is going to be our grid for today, with Hummer taking a second pole position in a row. So certainly looks to be dominant in qualifying. Just needs to turn that into the race. Obviously last week dropping down to 3rd position. He'll be hoping to do it a little bit better than that this week. Pipke, 2nd position. I can't remember what position he was. I think he was 2nd last week as well, to be honest. I think we've got the same front row 2 weeks running. So yeah, not too bad. It does set up for a good race. We're pretty close there from, if you look it up, well, a few tenths, 2/10 from 3rd to 7th. That's pretty close. Right, okay, so we'll just wait for the classification to come up. Then obviously we'll have a short pause while the drivers decide on their race strategies, fuel loads, etc. So right, here we go. So Hummer taking pole position. He's joined on the front row by Pipkey. Row number 2, we've got Rush and Summer. Row number 3, we've got Moss Isley and Bogarowski. Row 4, we've got Pombear and Havoc Connor. Row 5, we have Riker and Andre. On row 6, we have Ralph Albers and Cassell. Row 7, Skipper and Raikkonen. Row 8, Composite and Brother Adam. And I think that's it. Yeah, Brother Adam 16th, because obviously the disqualification moved him to the back of the field. So he'll be looking at doing a last to first challenge if he can, or certainly getting as high up that order as he can to score some points. Right, so we're just waiting now for everyone to decide on their fuel loads and their tyre strategies. As I say, it's medium to hard is obviously your ideal strategy, but whether your tyres are actually going to last is well, on the safe side, you're going to do a 2-stopper. So really looking at medium, medium, hard, hard, medium, medium, however you decide to arrange those. But that's more than likely going to be your strategy tonight. I think safety cars are going to come into it. But we will see. Right, okay, let's get the telemetry right, which we already have. Right, okay, so Johnny has in the post put in another prediction. He did one last night, got 1 out of 3 correct last night, so we'll see if he can get a little bit better tonight. But his predictions are 2 safety cars, or virtual safety cars, Bog to get a podium, and 3 cars to DNF. So with the 3 to DNF, Johnny, what about the rest of the race? That's turn 1. Anyway, good evening to Mirror as well in there, and to Mars Ranger. Yeah, when, not if, here with the virtual safety car. Yeah, there's going to be a few front wheels going, but hopefully we'll get an entertaining race. We normally do with D2. So there we are, strategies medium to hard or medium, medium, hard. To be honest, I think a lot of people are going to go for the 2-stopper. But obviously, as we've said, safety cars are going to make a huge difference here. It's whether you take a gamble, what tyre you're on, if it works for you or if it works against you. Your race can be made or ruined within a split second. But we all got dealt the same cards. Okay, so Hummer leading the field round. I won't be surprised this week that he's right at the front. Last week I was a little bit shocked, but then I'd completely written the grid down wrong on my pad, so I'll put it right this week. So Hummer and Pipkey back on the front row of the grid. Oh, what I will do actually is have a quick look to see what tyres everybody's on. We've got pretty much all yellow, other than Andre in 10th, Cassell in 12th, and Brother Adam right at the back going for the hards. So worth a shot, I suppose. Right, are we going to get a decent camera? We'd probably say not. Oh, we are. Excellent. Right, okay, so here we are on the grid. We're just waiting for the lights now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights are out and off we go, and a good start there by Hummer getting away, although Pipke looking up the inside, Rush looking further back, so we see if we've got any contact there. We have. An unfortunate spinner is the... Oh, Bog getting a penalty there for... Yeah, so it was Summers that got caught, so Bog unfortunately getting caught up in that right at the beginning. So, and I don't know what the hell is going on with that smoke behind the cars there, so sorry for that blurriness. But yeah, a bit of a lively start. We have unfortunately Summers down 12 right at the back of the grid. Bogorowski down a couple as well, but also with that 10-second penalty. Pompey has a penalty. What did he get that for? Oh, let me try and do it on the right thing. He got a 3-second penalty in 1 lap. That's pretty impressive. So right, let's get rid of the detail and get on with the race. Got Pombert and Riker there. Riker making a move up into 6th position. So the field's still quite close and bunched. So we're going to get some... But look at Skipper up in a 7th position. Did race here last night as well, so he's will feel comfortable with the circuit. But yeah, he's certainly not out of it yet. Andre making a move around the outside of Composite, and a little bit further back we have Bogorowski down in 11th. So is he going to come in and serve that 10-second? I think he is. Get that out of the way on set of medium. So he might jump onto a set of hards. At least he has done then with his tyre compounds, as will probably Cassell and Connor all coming in with unfortunate wing damage. And Bog with that 10-second penalty is going to drop him to the back of the field. But anyway, at the front, Hummer keeping the lead. Half a second ahead of Pipke, who has pulled out ahead of... Ooh, what's going on there? Who do we further back? Summers... No, Raikkonen. Looks like Raikkonen was struggling. Okay, so Raikkonen struggling a bit there, but let's jump off him and get back to the lead here. As I say, Hummer and Pipke have now broken a second away from D-Rush, so DRS has been enabled, but he is not going to be able to take advantage of that. He's closing just half a second, but ideally if they start fighting in front, he can close that gap pretty damn quick. A bit further back, Mos Eisley on the back of Rush, so those two, if they work together, can drag themselves up. Pipke picking up the fastest lap, which is as normal, and also picking up the lead of the race. Just behind Rika there, and Skipper holding his own in 7th position. In fact, he is looking to overtake Pombert. Andre in 8th, pretty much in a drive of his own at the moment, 3 seconds ahead and a second or so behind. Right, what do we have going on down? Bog back into the... No, it's not Bog into the pits, Raikkonen into the pits. Did look like he was struggling. Brother Adam as well, just exiting. Is he going to get out ahead of Bogorowski? He does indeed. So Adam keeps 14th position. Rush and Mos Eisley exchanging positions there. So you go, Master Ranger. He's sitting on the podium as we speak, so you just need the rest of it to come true. Which was Summers to get the fastest lap and 4 DNFs. We'll see. We'll see who's right at the end. Pond there, making a move on Riker up the inside. And gains that position. Skipper will now look at making a move if he can. Who is that we are having problems with? Ralph not enjoying his day so far today. Looks like he's got a front left end plate missing now. So he's going to really be struggling for downfalls around some of these quicker corners. I'm sure he'll be coming into the pits, but yeah, so far not a great day for him. Riker has managed to hang on to the back of Pond Bear, and Skipper is dropping off ever so slightly. So I wonder if he's just made a slight mistake, just to drop, 1.6 behind now. So I think he had a bit of a wiggle on or something. Okay, Mos Eisley has closed in on the front two, so it's now become a three-way train for the lead. And all within DRS of each other, so there'll be a chance to just save some of your battery, just be dragged along in the DRS, save some of that battery for when it's needed. Spaced out a little bit, want to keep an eye on Riker, as he is all over the back of Pond Bear now. But this is the main battle, obviously for the lead of the race, but also three cars pretty close together. Let's see who is going to pull the trigger first and make a pit stop. I think the undercut can be quite powerful here, especially if you're on the Warner tyres. Brother Adam 132.2 with the fastest lap of the race. Connor on the back of Cassell. Now the front three are getting very, very close here. Obviously with DRS, Hummer and Mos Eisley can close up dramatically. Can they do enough to then make the move down? Oh, I thought that was going to be a collision there, but no, managed to just break in time. But where he's gone in deep, he's allowed Hummer to break away rather than actually be right behind him to utilise that ERS and DRS to go for the move. There we go, I think he'll be happy just to sit behind for now. So you only win the race on the last lap. Not the first corner like some people do think, but yeah, surprisingly, there's a few laps in between. Yeah, I saw that Mars Ranger. He tried the undercut yesterday, and unfortunately it would have been a cracker, but the virtual safety car came out and just took away any advantage he had. So yeah, it's unfortunate. You win some, you lose some. It's like your luck's like mine, but we just lose some. But next week's another race. Okay, so we've got a bit of a closer field at the back. Connor has closed right in on Cassell. Cassell on the back of Summers. The defending champion not doing too well at the moment, down in 11th position, but he was caught up in that first corner melee. Bogrovsky picked up a 10-second penalty for it. It's so difficult at that first corner with so many cars going into it. There's inevitably going to be some contact. I think, to be honest, we got away quite lightly with the damage that we saw. Cassell looking for a move on Summers. Not sure if there was contact there between Connor and Cassell, but it did seem that they were both slow out of that left-hander. So I do wonder if maybe they got a little bit potted up together. yeah, we've got a nice little fight going on here. I sort of keep an eye on the front that nothing's happening there. Well, there is something happening, but no overtakes. Hummer just happy to sit behind Pitky at the moment. Unfortunately, you've got the dirty air, so it's not always the best thing, but you know, staying within that DRS can be worth. What do they say? Is it 8 tenths around here? 6 tenths? Something like that? Oh, Pitky just clipping the inside wall there. He's going to lose a bit of momentum on that. It's going to allow Hummer to close right up. So we'll see if he can nail this final turn. If he can, he should. Will open his ERS, and he will have DRS. So this should be a fairly easy overtake for Hummer, depending obviously on wings. But Cozy is looking around the outside. And Pitky moving into the centre of the racetrack to block that. Further back, Cassell now breezes past Summers there. I think we've got a much better exit out of that corner. But then further back, looks like Connor is also making his way past Summers. He does indeed. So Summers losing a couple of positions within a corner, but he is right on the back of Connor again now. But is he going to go for a move down the inside? He's not. I think he's going to be sensible and just sit there for a couple of laps. Recharge his ERS, then you can go for the overtake. Okay, so Hummer 8 tenths. So it looks like Cassell's out. What's happening to Cassell? And we have, is that a virtual safety car? Yeah, I can't see it's a full safety car yet, but Raikkonen, where did that, I'm assuming it was another incident just here, either clipped that wall or clipped it, yeah, it's the first wall, so yeah, turn 4. So turn 4 claims another victim in this week's DTR, so we saw a few yesterday, and we now have our first little victim tonight. So are we going to see any pitters? Obviously all under the under virtual safety car, so a full course yellow. Pitky pits. Hummer and Moss Isley do not. But I tell you, this is going to be good for like the likes of Bogorovsky and Connor that have sort of got caught up in first lap. Fraccar and Summers as well. It's just going to close the field right up, so it's going to give them a second chance. Potentially on fresh rubber if they do come in. But here we go, virtual safety car number 1, and we are back racing again. So that is over. Right, let's get back up to the front. So Hummer now ahead of Moss Isley. So both on 9 lap old mediums. What we will do is just have a look to see what tyres people went on to. Pitky going on to the hard tyres. So that would be 16 laps to the end of the race, which is more than doable, certainly on the hards. So he doesn't need to stop again, but obviously if there is a virtual safety car or a safety car and the timing is good for him, he can then have the freedom to come in and jump onto mediums or softs, depending on how long there is. Okay, so Riker on the back of composite, Skipper up into 6th position. I really just noticed that as I look up. That's good day for him. Rika now up into 9th, just past composite, so he'll be looking to chase down Ralph. Ralph obviously with that penalty as well. Oh, has Ralph got a drive through? Let's have a quick look at that on this one. Yeah. Right, anyway, let's get back to where we were. Concentrate on the chat rather than the race. So Hummer now, so still with that 6-7 tenth lead over Moss Isley. So what's actually coming into second race, but showing some good speed. If I remember rightly, in Adelaide last week, he was probably better than the 8th position that he picked up, but things not going his way. But still picking up a couple of points. But tonight, certainly showing that he is capable. Obviously not pitted yet, but caution, we have another yellow. Why do we have a yellow? It's another full course safety search. Brother Adam that's out now. Where is Brother Adam out? I have a feeling this might be turn number 4 again. What do you think? Yep, turn number 4. So he did exactly the same as Cassell. I think Cassell did the same last night as well. So he's nothing but consistent. But yes, okay. Are the front two going to pit? They are literally round by the pits now. Are they going to take a gamble and go for it, or are they going to continue? So 10 laps. Didn't quite work out for Hummer. Moss Isley actually stays out for Hummer. Hummer has pitted. So let's see where pit key is in comparison. Skipper now up into full position. So pit key coming around now. Whereabouts is Hummer? Hummer is behind him. Just out of the pits now. So that was a 4.5 second undercut by pit key. Obviously Hummer will have much fresher tyres, but track position can be absolutely crucial around here. The bog now past Summers, if I can get there at all. No, because Summers came into the pits, so okay, right, so pit key now right on the tail of Skipper. Look at making that move, I think, probably after this section here. I think pit key will get much better drive, certainly on those fresh tyres, and absolutely floor it with DRS and ERS, and he is through and gone. So Andre in 3rd position at the moment, still has to pit, I believe. So that's going to drop him down a few places, but the field is pretty bunched out. We've don't have much closeness going on. Moss Isley into the pits, so he's going to come out. How much is he going to be behind Hummer? 1.3, 1.4, so it was probably worth a second, that undercut for Hummer. But so Moss Isley will have a newer tyres. Yes, Johnny, there's your 2 DNFs, so you just got to pray that there's not going to be any more. I think you might have underestimated the power of D2. Tyres. Pit key done 3 laps, so there's still what, 13, 14, including the one that we're on, 17. Yeah, I mean, I think if he can get himself back up in the lead, he's now got a 5-second lead over Hummer. I think he can certainly nurse them a little bit towards the end. Summers past Composite. So on those fresh hards now, he'll be looking at taking it to the end, and he is blooming quick round there. Right, I don't know if he made a mistake, but D Summers nearly made pretty much a pretty unorthodox overtake in a position you wouldn't expect to see. But here we go, much better grip there. Still hasn't had enough to work its way past though. I think he might just be waiting for the DRS zone down here, nearly goes into the wall. Does indeed make the move, and so Summers up into 12th position. Excuse me. Back at the front, Hummer has reduced that gap down 4.4. Pit key now in the lead. Andre in 6th position. You've got Ralph and Connor. Oh, it's just Connor's in the pits. I get so excited when I see it change and I get there and it's just somebody in the pits. So. But Mos Eisley 1.7, 1.8 behind Hummer. So as I said, yeah, lost about just over a second on that undercut. But his tyres will be fresher for longer. Okay, so anyone close, the only one is composite on the back of Raikkonen. Watch these for a moment to see if there is any developments. So lap 14. 2 retirements, Cassell and brother Adam both falling foul of turn number 4. Composite really has better speed here. I'm assuming he's on much fresher tyres, but looking to make the move on Raikkonen. I think if he doesn't do it down this DRS straight, he'll definitely do it down the start-finish line. So here we go. He'll be using his he doesn't need to. As Raikkonen comes into the pits, so composite up into 11th position. Rossi no longer last, up into 13th after Raikkonen pitted, so we've got 1.5 behind Connor. And then we've got some pretty spread out gaps, to be honest. It's not hugely close. I mean, the closest we have is just over a second, 1.1. We're going to go out to sort of 3s, 4s, 9s, 10-second gaps between. I tell you what we need is a nice safety car now, just to bunch the field right up and give us a bit of racing towards the end. But Hummer is nibbling into that lead on pit key. Andre is on a flyer at the moment. Fastest lap of the race. I've been seeing that gap come down from Andre to Pombert, obviously driven by tyres. Hummer picking up a 3-second penalty. That is going to be painful if, well, he's now 7 seconds behind in effect. So yeah, a lot more ground he needs to make up. Make Vicky very happy, although he could be sitting on 2 warnings himself. So we don't really know on that one. But yeah, Andre, that's down to nearly a second now. That was 3 seconds only a couple of laps ago. So obviously, as I say, the tyre difference is probably huge and accounts for most of it, but he certainly does seem to be on the move at the moment. I say not qualifying too well, currently up in the 6th and hunting down 5th position. Mos Eisley has also reeled in Hummer, so now just half a second behind within the DRS zone. But the gap to Pipke down to 3.9, but as I say, Hummer does have that 3-second penalty, but Pipke, Mos Eisley doesn't have a penalty. So if he drags him with you, or with him, should I say. Okay, Andre now on the back of Pombert. I think he's probably more likely to go for the move than Mos Eisley is on Hummer at the moment. I think, being right near the front, it's wise just to sit and follow, unless you've got such a speed advantage that you can get by and pull away. Otherwise, you might as well just utilise it, especially if the gap is constantly closing to the leader. There's no point burning your tyres out. But that gap is closing. Andre, oh, Bog has made a move on composite. Yep, down the start finish line. The main DRS, so Bog up into 12th position. Let's go back to Moss Isley because I think he could be making. Is he going to make a move? I'm not sure. Doesn't look like he's lining one up. But he might do down this start finish line. Looking for Andre. Is he going to go for a move before the start finish line? Is he? He is. So Andre up into 5th position. Moss Isley now past Hummer along the start finish line and up into 2nd position. So let's see how Hummer is going to react to that. Are they both on? Yeah, both on hards. 1 lap difference, I think, between them. Bog now just half a second behind Connor. So Bog is getting his foot down, but once he passed Connor, he's then got 5.5 seconds to make up to the next man, which is Summers. We'll get him a point though if he can manage to do it. This is 17 laps just about gone. 16 laps gone onto the 17th lap. But still a long way to go in this race. But Bog sweeps past Connor there, up into 11th position. So his journey through the points is continuing. Put my teeth back in. Pom Bear keeping on the back of Andre though. So I think he's doing well to just use him to drag himself along. Like he might go for a move here. He wants that position back, doesn't he? Probably not the best position he could do this. To be honest, if they did it a bit further up, like here, each lap, they can use each other's ERS and DRS to drag themselves up to, well, Riker's 2.5 seconds up the lead now, up the roadie. So Hummer is holding on to the coattails of Moss Isley, but he does have that 3-second penalty as well. And currently it will still keep him safe on the podium. Riker 6.7 seconds down the road, so obviously with half that, but it's still quite comfortable. But what he needs to do is put some pressure on Moss Isley just to see if he can force him into a mistake. But I think Moss Isley is disappearing up the road now. A gap to Pipke down to 2.1. Again, I'm not sure Hummer's too interested in the overtake, just to use it to pull themselves along. Who is that just ahead? Connor, is it? No. Pipke, 1.4 now. He must have been. It must have been him I was looking for. Sorry, I thought it was the Red Bull race vehicles where he's in the white ball rather than the Red Bull. That's thrown me a little bit, but yeah, it looks like Pipke may have made a small mistake. So is he struggling on those tyres, or was it just a little bit? Click that ball again now. Moss Isley's eyes are open wide now. He can see them right in front. I'm just trying to see if anyone's lost any winglets or anything. Whether Pipke might have clipped a wall or something, which might be why he is. But no, it looks like they've all got them. So yeah, it's just a straight out fight. But the gap down to under half a second now, and Hummer still hanging in there as well. So it's going to be down to these three. In what order, we're not 100% sure at the moment, but I think Hummer, so that 3-second penalty over him, he would ideally need to get past the pair of them, and it looks like Mos Eisley is going for the lead of the race now, and he scoots around the outside of turn number 27. Bit both fishtailing ever so slightly there, but what that has done is that's given Hummer a really good drive. See if he is going to go for a move. He's not. No, but he got a really good drive with the two of them in front, just having sort of their backsides wobbling a bit, and I thought he might go for the overtake, get past two of them, but perhaps it wasn't as bad as I thought. Andre back past Pombert now, although Pombert not having anything to do with that if he can help it. Wants that position back, but Andre has that in his pocket at the moment. 2.2 seconds up the road to his teammate. But let's get back to this front battle. Pipke back past Mos Eisley, I missed that. But Hummer will be licking his lips, hoping that these two in front will fight and battle, and one of, you know, one or both of them will pick up an extra warning or two and pick up a 3-second penalty as well. Then it becomes a straight dogfight. Camera shot these. I do like the aerial shots, so apologies if it is a bit jolty. I haven't quite got my graphics right yet, but I got it enough to be able to put on Mos Eisley, nearly wiping out the back of Pipke there, having to go a little bit wide. That is going to put him under some pressure from Hummer. Is Hummer going to go for the move this time? He is deploying his ERS with DRS as well, so he is looking to go for a move down the inside. So Hummer back up into second position. Mos Eisley, who was leading a lap ago, down into third position. Pipke will be rubbing his hands though if these two will fight. He can then just try and sprint away in the last 4 or 5 laps and take the victory. So I think Pipke will also take the lead of the championship after finishing second last week. If he can win today, that will give him the lead of the championship. Obviously with Johnny on holiday, unable to claim any points for himself or his Red Bull Racing team. But he'll be back next week, and I'm sure he'll be up near the front as always. Okay, so front three still fighting away. We'll keep a look on those, but I'll just run down the order whilst we're here. Riker in 4th position, but 8.3 seconds behind this front group. But nevertheless, a great drive by Riker. Mos Eisley now looking to get past Hummer, just dipping in behind. I think we're going to see quite a few changes here because they're starting to get attacking now with just a few laps to go. Yeah, I think we might see a few overtakes. But anyway, Andre in 5th position, 1.2 behind his teammate, but he's got Pombert in 6th right up his backside. Skipper currently in 7th position, a commendable position as well. He's driven well tonight. Was up as high as 4th, I think, at one point. NLD Rush in 8th position, 4.4 seconds down the road. Then we've got Ralph Albers in 9th, 10th, defending champion Summers. Still bouncing back to pick up points, which can be important as the season goes on. Bogowski in 11th, 4 seconds behind Summers, so I can't see he's going to get himself any points unless there's any incidents in front of him. But nevertheless, a good recovery drive after being last, and 10-second penalty on the first lap. This is starting to spice up this at the front, so this could get quite interesting. But yeah, Connor in 12th position, then we've got Composite in 13th and Raikkonen in 14th. But it's this front three that we need to concentrate on. This is where it's going to happen. Hummer looking to put a lot of pressure if he can. I completely pressed the wrong button there, I do apologise. Yeah, it looked like Hummer was putting a lot of pressure on Pipke there. But has now dropped off a little bit, and Mos Eisley
go. Hummer got a really good drive out of that corner. Pipke again going to the centre of the track, just saying, yeah, that's fine, you want to overtake me, you go round me. And that's good defensive by Pipke. Obviously that's now going to put Hummer under a little bit of pressure. Mos Eisley looking for the undercut, or the cutback should I say, but deciding against it. Probably wisely so. Connor picking up a 3-second time penalty. Two laps to go at the end of this. That's where it is going to start getting spicy, because these moves are going to matter. But for Hummer, unless he gets past and breaks 3 seconds, it doesn't matter for him. He's finishing third. But Pipke and Mos Eisley are certainly battling away for the win. If I was Mos Eisley, I would get my ass past Hummer as quick as I possibly can, and then I would use Pipke to drag me along and to defend from Hummer. At least you can then make the attack on Pipke. Although perhaps he's hoping that Hummer is gonna make it easy for him. Here we go. No, backing out, backing out, backing out. Raikkonen picking up a 3-second time penalty first. So we'll have a quick look at the pen. I'll tell you what we'll do as well, look at the tyres. 15 lap old for Pipke, 13 for Hummer, 12 for Eisley. So yeah, I mean certainly Pipke on the worst tyres, but Mos Eisley now looking for a move up the inside. Couldn't quite get the traction, but so all you can do is just hustle them in front and hope that they make a mistake. Right, penalty wise, got 3, 3, 3, Kyle 6 and 3 for Raikkonen as well. We'll get rid of those now. That was such a good drive there by Mos Eisley. I thought he was going to be able to go round, but it looks like he had to check back. From there has closed on Riker as well for 4th position. Could well look at making that overtake, but again he does have a 3-second penalty, so Riker can just let him pass and use him for DRS just for the last couple of laps. But here we go, DRS open, Mos Eisley going for it, last lap of the race. This is where it matters, this is where it matters, this is where it counts. Last lap of the race, and he goes in too deep. Unfortunately, that will have thrown away the possibility of a win for Mos Eisley now. Hummer nearly a second behind Pipke as well, so Pipke will be absolutely jumping for joy, I would have thought on that. Riker has lost that position now to Pombert, so Pombert up into 4th. But yeah, at the front, Mos Eisley will want to get past Hummer. Even though he's there on penalties, you always want to do it on tracks. Always want to do it on track. But yeah, Pipke now looking a little bit more comfortable. I was saying that he's got Hummer right up his backside, but he does have Hummer with the 3-second penalty between him and Mos Eisley, so we'll see. But Hummer wants to win this. On track and goes wide there. Pipke, this could actually fall into Mos Eisley's hand, because if Pipke trying to get past, Mos Eisley only has to beat Pipke. Hummer, did he get the position back, or did he just mess the corner up? What's going on? And it looks like no, Mos Eisley's going to win it. Mos Eisley's going to win it. Surely not. Surely not. No, Pipke does keep it. Mos Eisley does finish in 2nd. Oh, well, actually finishing 3rd, but gets 2nd position. Hummer gets third position. Riker coming home in fourth. Pombert in fifth. Then we have Andre in sixth. Skipper in seventh. Rush will come across in eighth position. Then Ralph Alba bringing the Ferrari home in ninth to pick up 2 points. But look how close this is getting. Bog within a second of Summers, but I don't think there's going to be enough to catch him. I think if there was one more lap, he may well have done, but no. Summers coming home in 10th, Bogorowski in 11th. Connor will be the next to come home. He's got a 6-second penalty to add to that. Composite will be the last of the drivers to cross the line, but congratulations to Pit P. So following up last week's runner-up with a win, Hummer getting his second consecutive third position. Right, let's quickly run through the results. I'm going to skip through that just because last week I didn't get anything. So race winner is obviously Pipke. Andre getting fastest lap. Driver today goes to Skipper. Most overtakes to Andre and cleanest driver. Okay, so the results are in. Pipke taking the win. Moss Isley in second. Third place is Hummer. Fourth, Riker. Riker. I'll get that right one week. Fifth place goes to Pombert. Sixth, Andre with the fastest lap, 31.772. Then we have Skipper in seventh. NLD Rush in eighth. Ninth goes to Ralph Albers. 10th, and the last point going to Summers. Bogorowski picking up 11th. 12th goes to Havoc Connor. 13th Composite. 14th is Raikkonen. And then we had Brother Adam and Cassell, the only 2 DNFs. So 2 DNFs. I think there were 2 virtual safety cars. And the bog podium didn't happen. So was that 1 out of 3? Yeah, 1 out of 3 again tonight, Johnny. Again, consistent. So it brings to a close the Jeddah Grand Prix. We will be back next week. I say Division 1 on Wednesday night, 8 PM, where D Summers will be giving us his wonderful commentary. Always look forward to that, and some good racing within there as well. Had a nice grid there this week, so it'd be nice if we can just get a couple more into each division, then we can pretty much pack it out each week. Also, anyone else interested commentating, if you want to be a steward, anything like that, then just let us know, and we'll try and make it happen for you. But yep, Division 1 next Wednesday, 8 PM. Division 2, we are back next Thursday, 8 PM, where it will be myself boring you to tears for an hour and a half. But I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the start of the new season, and I'll catch you next week.